My twin sister and I were given free tickets by strangers to watch our favorite show on Broadway. This is how God connected the dots. My twin and I had been living in Asia in two different countries, and we saw that our favorite movie from when we were kids was going to be a musical on Broadway. We finally both ended up in New York City, and there was only one night that we could attempt to see the show. Now, the tickets are normally $100. There's something called a lottery, so you can put your name in, and then the tickets are only $30. I distinctly remember that before we got to the theater, we were across the street, and I remember learning a lot about the Father Heart of God. And so I took the moment to say, God, I'm your daughter. I'm going to ask that not only does one of our names get drawn, but that it gets drawn first. We're his kids. We put our names in, and there's several hundred people there. Then while we're waiting, we end up meeting this other couple who turns out they're Christian, and their two kids. We really connected because the wife was so excited that my sister and I had been working in Asia, and she'd been praying for these places to meet Jesus. They start to draw the names, and guess what? The husband, his name actually gets pulled first. They pull the rest of the names. Our names do not get pulled. Then the husband waits for the wife to come to where he is, and so she asks if we can watch their kids for a few minutes. So we're like, sure, it's fine. So my sister and I are like, what are we going to do about this? We were very sad. Husband and wife come back over to us. We hadn't figured out what we were going to do yet. But then the husband and wife are so excited. The wife says, I've been praying for my husband to really listen to God. Let me tell you what happened this afternoon. They had been at Macy's. Turns out they had multiple shows that they were planning on going to see in New York City. And the husband really didn't want to come to this one. But she asked him to pray and ask God what to do. And so there he was in Macy's asking Jesus if he should come or not. And he felt God say, yes, come. Husband says, and I know why God brought us here because these tickets are for both of you. And my sister and I were just in shock. And then I was even more in shock because I realized that not only did God give us free tickets to Broadway, but his name was pulled first. So when we went in to watch the show that night, I was not just in awe because we got to see our favorite show, but also because God answered the specific cry of my heart that the name would get pulled first. But God had a better plan because he knew that the husband was going to end up giving us these free tickets. And not only that, I was in awe because I realized God had already told him to come an hour before I even prayed that prayer. So God was in the midst, behind the scenes, doing all these things, working all these things out to connect the dots. What Jesus did for me and my twin, he can do this for you because he's a good father. He really is a good father. And so I just release that over you right now, that you will ask God specific things and that you will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.